I heard, first of all, how you doing?
Good, good.
Good, good. So first, just introduce yourself and what do you do and what got you into what you do?
My name is Jasmine Williams, and I am IFBB Pro Bikini.
Okay.
Uh,
What got, yeah, what got you into it?
Honestly, I went to a show, and I kind of just at first I wasn't into it. I was just like, "What is this?" Like
Yeah.
why are there bikinis? Da da da. And I just enjoyed like the performance wise, like you walking on stage, like the whole gist of competing. It took me like a second time to actually go and watch another show to be like, oh, I'll try this. Like, let me try and see how, like, see if I can do, like, if I can win or just to see for an experience.
hmm Did someone
So,
kind of push you that way, or was it just like you thought it was interesting, you did it, or was there someone that kind of helped you along the way to really like learn about it,
yeah,
or you just kind of did it by yourself?
mm, at the time, I was dating
It's always
a
that.
bodybuilder.
Okay.
Me and him were together for about 3.5 years, and
Okay.
he was into like the whole competing thing, and I was into like just honestly drinking and like chilling
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
working and minding my business. Like I didn't really care for the gym. Like I think the only time I went into the gym was to like do the treadmill, and
Oh,
I
wow.
I walked in, I looked at all the weights, I was like, yeah, no. And walked
hmm
straight to the treadmill, and then just it took a while for me to actually feel comfortable to go into the gym because I just didn't want everyone like, judging you. You don't know what
No, I've
you're
heard
doing.
that, yeah.
It's your first
Especially
time.
depending on what kind of gym you go to and stuff like that. Like people can be very judgy and
Yeah,
it's very vain, very, very vain. Although some gyms can be really vain and
yeah.
stuff like that. So did you play sports growing up or like or did you or you really just did the treadmill? Because you seem like you're an athlete unless you're completely against it. Usually an athlete transfers over well when they compete and stuff like that. Did you have like a background
I
in
do.
athletics?
I do. So when I was younger, I was into dance, like
Okay.
all like dance competitions. Like I did march parade. Stupid. It was so stupid. Now that I look at it, like it was like marching with the little batons and like like I was like 10, and then from there I in high school I was like captain of like Friday Nights Live, which is like a little club that we had for like putting dance together, like step classes and stuff. And from there I was like, I need to do something else, so I started uh, playing flag football, believe it or not. It was co-ed. I played flag football, and the first time like I played, you're not supposed to tackle flag football.
Yeah, I
And
get that. The flag
yeah,
part.
well, um, someone tackled me, and like I got so pissed off that when it was time to play them again, like I tackled them, and then I was just like, wow, this is like not how I want to play, and I don't like this sport anymore. Like I had all these bruises, and then I moved on to like something else. I was like, well, I like running, so I was like, let me run track, and so I was like, I did track for my whole sophomore year in high school. Um, and I did like the 300 hurdles and the 4x1. And after that, I was like, I can really go somewhere with this. But it just like something wasn't catching. Like I didn't like I loved it, but I didn't like want to be an Olympian or Olympic go to the Olympics with it, or like like I didn't look
Yeah,
at
I
it that.
got you. You can have like a love or passion for it. It was fun, but you didn't like love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was how, not to give you age, how long ago was that when you were actually
Ooh.
competing or doing track in high school?
Uh, track
More or
was
less than five. More or less than 5 years.
in high school was very
Yeah,
long ago. I
very
graduated
long.
in 2008.
Well, that's not bad.
So,
I graduated 2007, so it's okay.
oh, okay.
I'm the old one here. I'm the old one here. It's fine. But I
Okay.
did graduate at 17, so
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
very, very young. Yeah, yeah. So where are you live in California right now, right?
Yeah.
What part of California?
Palm Springs area, the
Palm
desert,
Springs. The desert?
like
Is that, see,
hotness.
how far is that in relation to, like, I don't even know, like LA or something? Is that far from LA or?
I'm literally like 2 hours from about two hours from everything. LA, San Diego, Vegas is like 3 hours, so I'm like right in
Okay,
the middle.
that's actually a good spot to be at. Okay, so where are you originally from? Or are you
I'm
from
originally
LA?
from Long Island, New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long
So
you been in California?
I've been in Cali for I want to say 14 years. I go back to
Oh,
New York every blue moon, but yeah.
yeah, same thing. I've been in Florida for 8, 9 years, but I'm from up north too. I'm from Pennsylvania, New York, so I go there not often. Every blue moon, I don't go there at all much often.
I have family in Pennsylvania too.
You're from where?
I have family in
Oh,
Pennsylvania.
really? Yeah. So I grew up over close to like Philadelphia, like 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia. That's where I lived at.
Really
Yeah.
nice.
So how long you been competing for now? Since you got into how long you've actually been competing for?
Let's see. I started in 2015. So
2015?
2015, that
Okay.
was my first time competing. Yeah.
24, 25, 25. Yeah. I think you're freezing a little bit. You, I think you're cutting in and out a little bit. Yeah. I think yeah, it's cutting in and out a little bit, it's freezing a little bit. Hold on, hold on.
Let me
Okay,
know when
no.
you can like see me.
I can see. I think it's not cutting out. I think you're good now.
Okay.
So what was the one? Let's go to the first time you competed. What was the hardest thing about it? Was it hard, or did you just was once you did it the one time was like, okay, this is what I want to do, or was like because I've heard both sides. Like some people do it and it takes them all to get back into it. They're like, nope, that's not for me. But eventually they end up being really well at it. And sometimes people have a great experience. Like this is my love, this is my passion. Which one was it for you?
I have that personality where if I start something, I want to finish all the way through and see how I do at it.
Yeah,
So as soon as I started competing, I wasn't expecting to win because it was a new sport for me. Like I didn't even know like what a pro was, how you get there, whatever. I was just like, that's cool. It's competition. You win shiny medals. Let me try it. Like,
yeah.
and after that, it just took off, and I was just like, oh wow, like I guess I'm really good at this. I won my first show.
Oh, you
Um,
did. So that was gonna be my next question. How did you do on your first show?
I won. I won my open class, and I won my novice class. And I didn't get an overall my first time. So when I found out about what an overall was at a show, I was like, oh, I didn't win it. Like, why not? And I was like, okay, well, let's try again. Like another show. Let's do
Yeah,
another show. And after that, it just started becoming addicting. And I was just like, I'm gonna keep competing until I get an overall. And it's like, but you qualify for nationals, and I'm like, what's that?
yeah.
Like,
You kind of learned on the go. When did you
yeah.
finally get your pro card?
I got my pro card 2017.
Okay, and that's after how many shows you did?
National shows or just
Just to
uh,
just to finally get your pro card, how many shows did it take for you to kind of get there?
okay. So the thing about that is you have to do the amateur shows, okay, and you win first or second, and you qualify for a national show. So I did two of those shows, and I won both of those two shows that I did, and then I decided to try to go straight for nationals. I didn't keep going to uh, you know regular shows, so I went to the national level, and I did. Let's see, I did the South Carolina show. No, my first show was USA's muscle contest, and I got like second to last call out or whatever. And it like broke my heart. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm not ready for this level.
Yeah.
So I tried again. And that's when I went to South Carolina. And I actually did good. I won. And I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't get my pro card because you have to get the overall. So here goes this overall thing coming back to me and like
Yeah,
you
it's been
know,
since the first show. Since you
yeah,
brought that up, that's something that you thought about.
yeah. And so I did it again, and I got like third call outs, and I was like, man, this is like the yo-yo effect. Like one day I'm like first place, next I'm last. I'm like I literally was gonna give up, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna give the first show I did as nationals another try to see if just give it everything I got and like go for it. And that's when I got my pro card. So
Did
yeah.
you when you talked you said it was like a yo-yo up and down. Did you get different like feedback from judges? Did you ask them like what was I kind of missing, or was it all over the place? Like someone working your glutes, someone your shoulders need to be better, you need to be tighter, you're holding too much water. What was there a consistent thing that they said that, okay, you need to work on your legs, or you need to work on this, or you never really didn't get a clear answer on that? Because sometimes different judges will tell you different things. But
Yeah, and
was there
that's
something
right.
consistent as far as what you asked them, or did you just kind of have to work on everything every single time?
Honestly, now this may offend people, but I really don't care. Uh,
Yeah.
because it shouldn't. It's my experience, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I like to ask for feedback to a certain extent. If I feel like I brought my ultimate package to a show, I'm not going to ask for feedback. If I feel like I, you know, I feel like sometimes it's okay to ask because they can give you the great, advice and feedback on some things. But then there's things that they say that's like, oh, you need to build bigger lats. It's like, what? Like, this not my division. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Or oh, your glutes came off a little bit softer on this one. It's like, what? I was just peak week to peak week. I'm even tighter than I was last time. So it all plays in like how the sport mentally is, like, really. So feedback to me, yes, they told me one thing and the other person told me another. One person told me, hey, if you came in just a little bit tighter, you would have got first place. It's like, like,
I've heard a lot of things, and I don't know how it is in California, because you do travel shows, but a lot of times, sometimes it's politics. Like judges just want to know that you kind of listen to them, and then they'll kind of, if they keep showing you, seeing you, that you sometimes you got to play your politics, and they'll be happy that you listen to their advice or their input. But ultimately, it doesn't really mean anything.
yeah, politics is politics. I mean, it's everywhere, in any workforce too, like any job you have. Like, if you're not questioning or asking what you can do better to your boss or whoever runs the company, then they're just going to think that you're just, you're just average. You don't want to know what I think, although I'm down here watching you, So yeah, you should ask so they know next time you're on stage, they see you, they're like, oh, that's the girl who emailed me about what she can work out, where she needs to work with or work more with, and so whatever.
Absolutely. So you do your own prep, or do you have a coach? Wait, two questions. Do you do your own prep, and do you do your own like coaching for yourself? Because I know we're gonna get into you personal train too, but I know people who compete and they don't do their own prep. They don't do it themselves because they just need kind of like someone else to kind of push them and manage it. Do you do that yourself, or do you have someone else do that?
The only time I prepped myself is off a little bit off season and probably right in the beginning of my prep, because I do have a coach, Coach Ryan Hinton from Team Legacy. Um, he's a great coach. I have nothing bad to say about him at all, and I never will. Um, I like to see what works for me until I'm about 5 weeks out. that's when I have my coach into like, hey, Jazz, like let's tighten this up, try this, because you can still, you can drop your calories like this and blah blah blah. Like I need that. It works for me. And so yeah, so off season for sure I do my
Yeah.
own plan, yeah.
Since you do a big portion of your prep. What was your toughest prep? And since you've been competing, and what was the toughest part about it?
My Olympia prep.
Your Olympia prep. So you have done the Olympia
Yeah, I've been to the Olympia
uh,
last year.
last year. Okay. How'd you do, for one? And what was the toughest part about it?
I got 16th, which 16th is when everyone's 16th. So
Yeah.
after 16th, they don't count anymore. I I felt great. The experience itself was amazing. So I don't regret anything coming in besides me trying to be a little bit less stressed and relaxed to be like 2 days before, like, um, because when your stress levels go up, everything, your hormones kind of
Yeah.
go off. Um, but I enjoyed it. The hardest thing was obviously figuring out where I was supposed to be. This is my first time, and like how am I going to amount to other girls that are there? And that's something you don't want to do, but it's a natural thing for everyone,
Getting
you
head to head,
know?
you naturally compare yourself to everyone you see and everything. That's just, I mean, you do it at the gym. I do it, and I don't even mean to. I was like you kind of have that aspect, especially if you're competing. Definitely.
Right.
What do it again?
Hmm?
Yeah. Did you plan on doing it again?
Well, I have to qualify. So I have to compete to qualify. And due to the COVID,
Yeah.
all the shows are getting canceled. So I'm hoping to have at least 5 good shows under my belt before Olympia and qualify in one of those shows, because they changed everything too, with top 5 out of the world instead of top 25.
Oh wow.
Which I know, I feel like right now they should go back to what it was because of what's happening. There's no shows to do. I feel like if the top 25 point standing people will have a better chance than just 5, and then the last 5 that the last ones I got top 5 at the Olympia last year automatically, I think, qualify or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, first place winners automatically qualify.
Typically, if there's no COVID-19, there's nothing going on. How many times a year do you compete? Do you compete once or twice, or I think you just said you try to do 5 shows in a year?
Now I like to go. I
Really?
do like seven to 8 shows, like
Stay pretty.
within a
You stay
3 month span.
round year round. You stay pretty lean year round.
Uh, I stay shapely. Like I'm in shape.
I mean, I've met some pros, and I mean, you see them in the off season, they look like they ate someone. And then you'll see them come show, and it's like completely different. Like they only do 1 or 2 shows. That's why if you're doing like 7 or 8, that's you stay a lot more conditioned than a lot of people that I've talked to. That they really just they'll prep for 16 weeks, but in the off season, they're like 30, 40 pounds heavier. They'll just hold a lot more weight.
Oh yeah, like my off season, I'm like 135, 130. Well, I balance it between 130 and 135
And then
off season.
at what 120ish?
My stage, 117 is my lucky number.
Okay. Okay.
That's my lucky number.
Okay. What is what's full time? You're a personal trainer?
Yeah. My full time is personal training. I work with tons of clients, anything from seniors. Also, I do seasonal caregiving. So, like, when it's slow here in the desert, because I live in the desert, so you kind of have to balance yourself really smart out here financially, because you have people from Alaska and Canada that come to this area for whatever, they have homes or whatever. And that's when it's season. And when it's not season is, you know, when you have to have, your second financial status, which is, for me, I'm a home health aide caregiver. So I go in to elderly people's homes who want to stay in their home and not go into an actual home, like a facility. So by the government, they are able to stay in their house and just have someone come and feed them, give them their medication, you know, whether it's disability that they have, doing physical things, walking, some maybe a workout, like just keeping them active, kind of like their best friend slash maid.
Yeah, gotcha. Right now, is it online or is it only in-person personal training?
Right now, I'm doing park workouts because
Yeah.
it's outside and it's good for the lungs. I feel like, if you were going to have the COVID, you would have it by now. And, you probably already had it. You just didn't know when.
Yeah.
Really, you wouldn't know when. You probably had it in the beginning of the year. You had some sickness and you didn't realize that it was the coronavirus. So, I mean, whatever.
Olympic, and I know you're in California. How is it in California as far as with the lockdown? How locked down are you guys at? And then like that Kiki says for real. I mean, you're not wrong. You can read the chats, the comments about everyone. If you had it, you already had it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for real. Like, and yeah, Kiki knows. She actually is a good friend of mine as well. But yeah, you still working out, still keeping, that health by working out. You're still being active. People who stay home and then all of a sudden you're like so sheltered, you're blocking yourself off from those immunities that you need from being outside and from being around other people. So it's like you're actually weakening your immune system by staying in the house, I get it. You want to be, isolated and quarantined for a little bit. That's totally understandable and you're doing your part. But at the same time, your body needs bad bacteria. Your body needs that. You can't, your body fights off when you actually get something, So I don't know. That's my personal opinion. So, I mean,
Is California still in lockdown, right?
where I'm not, they just opened the beaches, except for Orange County. They didn't open the beaches over there, but most of the beaches are open and some of the sports stores are open.
Yeah.
Lockdown is not really lockdown where I'm at.
Yeah, they just started phase 1 over here, which is like the malls open at 25% capacity. They open the beaches. You have social distance, which I think it's almost impossible. I don't know how you can do 25% in the mall. So there's no one at the door that's counting people. And then I think it's kind of BS too. I don't think there's no way to actually balance that and have an idea how many people are actually going in and out the mall. So they actually just started that today. We were kind of in lockdown. Like you could tell when I drove around, had to go to the store and stuff. I actually ran into traffic, and I'm like, I don't miss this. There's actually traffic. Like everyone's going crazy right now. Like there's some type of freedom because we've been pretty locked down for a while down here. So they were still like everything was closed still for a while, for a month or something. So this was the first kind of phase 1 with the governor opened up, and there's so many cars. Like I was like, I don't miss that aspect. I do not miss the traffic. Because I luckily was able to go to the gym because I had my friend, he owns a private gym. So I've been going to a private gym. I've been able to do that. So
he didn't get a ticket or anything for that? Like a
no,
fine?
I mean it's private. So and then he does a little thing. I would say that he can have only 6 people, so there's enough space. But I think he's technically not allowed to. But I mean, it is what it is.
Honestly, like, I don't know.
Gyms are hoping, as of right now, it's not for at least another 2 weeks, at least.
I heard it May 15th or whatever.
May 15th. Well, yeah, I'm off my days, so that's 9 days. Yeah, whatever. I thought it was May 1st for some reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Photography. So, personal training. So, has this affected your personal training? Like, as far as the whole lockdown, or is it kind of like the business as usual? Have you, like, lost some clients and, like, you know what? That I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait, or has it been really business as usual?
Oh, of course I lost clients. The gym is not open. So I don't know when I get back to work whether I'll have that many clients, but you know what? I'm a hard worker, so I'm gonna do my best to bring whatever I can back in. And that's just me. Like I just refuse to fail that way, you know. So or dwell on something that I can make better, you know. As far as it goes for me and my workouts, um, mentally, I'm really good. Mentally, I'm really good. Physically, of course, I'm just like, I want to push weight. Like, when's the gym gonna open? And here I am online. Like, let me order this machine and let me, you
Mhm.
know, like it's like tweaker status for people that go to the gym right now. It's like, ooh, dumbbells, these many. It's like, let me order that. But it's like, I stopped because I'm like, when the gym opens, I'm barely gonna be here doing it.
People, I know people who spent like $1,000 on having a little home gym. And I was almost one of them, and I was just like, this is madness. I'm not gonna spend and then go right back to going to the gym. This isn't gonna be forever. Like this isn't. So I'm not gonna invest all this money and still pay it back. Cause I like the thing about the gym. I love the whole private gym. I could do my own workout alone. Is the atmosphere. The atmosphere of being in a gym. That's kind of what I love about it. So it's like even if I had my own home gym, I'll still find myself going to a gym. I
Right.
like just the atmosphere, other people, music. It's just kind of my thing. So I noticed on your page you have a glute program.
Yeah, I do. It's
Yeah.
Glutes by Jazzy Fit.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure. So basically, how that program works is you'll purchase your glue plan, and it's for 4 weeks active, 6 weeks with you basically doing the last 2 weeks by yourself. So it's like I'm helping you and then releasing you and then pulling you back in so I can push you harder to get where you want to be. Because realistically, if you're not on a diet plan and you're not, and you're just like lifestyle type of person, you want to do glute plan, it's going to be a little longer than 6 weeks. If you're like getting ready for a show, oh, you're pretty much in that low body fat percentage, so I can see where we need to pull out our conditioning more. So I literally will have someone email me. So what you do is you email me your back pose of your legs, your butt, and then you do your front pose, and I can see where the mainstream lining is on the front of your leg and your glute. From there, I evaluate, and I literally just come up with all these exercises and workout routines that will help you and your physique,
That's
basically.
that's so unique. So that it's not like it's one size fits all. You literally
No.
you make up a new plan for it depending. You actually look at the person's body and physique, and based on
Right.
what works, you do it specific to them, and then you coach them up on that. It's not like order this for whatever, and then you.
No.
So
Mm-mm.
it's a legit like workout. It's okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm actually just finding that out now because you see a lot of those programs, and all it is like, oh, here's 4 or 5 exercises. Here you go, and do this for 2 weeks, and you'll have a butt. Like that's really what's going on. Click this link, order right now. So you actually do like a full consultation, and you're there, and you coach them up and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Like, see, the thing about it is the reason why I did it that way is like, as a business person, I say to myself, how would I want someone to coach me or train me if I'm asking for something? Like, what do I expect from that person? Like, and I work out and I know what I want. So I'm like, I want this person to pay attention to detail. Like, I want them to look at me and be like, no, you don't need to be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
That's old. Switch to this. This is going to help you in this area. That shit's not doing anything but putting more muscle mass in this area that you don't need. You know, like most women, they think they're hitting their glutes, but they're really hitting their hamstrings. They think they're hitting their hamstrings, but they're really hitting their quads. So I specifically will like it's just a weird thing I have. It's like this I have the eye for glutes. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what made you kind of to even have this idea? Was it just I told you like you should do a program, or just kind of just it just came to you?
It started when I started getting a lot of compliments about my glutes, you know, and I was like, well, you know, like they asked me how you do it, how'd you get it like that, how you do it? I was like, well, for me, what works for me is I always have to do a recovery method after my workout, like immediately.
Can
Like
you on that for people who don't know? What do you mean by like recovery method? Are you saying like stretching or what exactly?
it can be anything. So like if you are a person who gets tight hip flexors all the time, the thing you want to do is recover that area right after. If you're a person who never feels your glutes for a workout, you need to make sure that you are firing up before and after. If you are a person who is quad dominant, you need to make sure that you are focusing on your hamstring and keeping your toes up so you can hit the back of your legs and not your quads. It's just, it's kind of like a scientific thing about it, but it's also like from personal experience.
That's all actually really good information. I think that's good. I think that's a lot of people. I know people who work out and they'll be squatting or doing different leg machines, and they have a hard time hitting their glutes. And they're doing like a glute workout, but they're not hitting them. So it's like,
Right.
and you offer that with your program? Like you'll actually have consult with them and say, I did the workout, but I didn't feel it here, and then you'll make.
I always follow up, and I mean I haven't had any bad reviews.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm very detailed too. Like in the plan, in the program that I give you, it may seem like, oh, well, oh, wow, seriously, okay. Oh, but then she told me to do this and this many reps and that sets and this and that. So I'm very like specific about how I do my programs, and I think that's the benefit of how the other person will feel it, because I have to think about, well, I'm not there to train them, you know, so I can't train them the way I want them to do these exercises. So I got to put little notes like make sure you're pushing up from the quads, so more on your toes. Make sure you're using your heels more in this one. Like I'm very like neat, neat, neat.
Specific on it, yeah. So this is like an online program too. So this
Yeah,
online, and no matter where across the whole United States, someone can reach out to you.
I've worked with people in India. I have a couple of girls in India that do my glute plan, and you know, Australia, a couple of places, yeah, all over.
That is really, really cool. So you have that. Do you have any other projects you're working on, and that you can kind of speak of a little bit? I don't want maybe you have some things in the works you can't speak on just yet. Do you have any other projects?
Well, I can't fully say everything, but I know for a fact that I have really big plans that I should have done a long time ago. You know, I'm almost 30 years old, so it's time to, you know, reel in what I want to have for longevity in my life. Um, so it's definitely going to have to deal with fitness.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and the other thing I can tell you is that it's my first time putting a business plan and idea all together by myself. So I'm learning things about myself that I didn't even know, like that I was capable of and not capable of doing. So yeah, it's going to be great.
I think one of your clients commented, said, yes, glute coach, you might know. And somebody said, be right back while I go sign up. What has been
Oh yes, that's my teammate. That's my boo right there.
Mary?
Mary Murray.
Okay. What's been the best? So your glute plan, you said is what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, typically?
Typically 6 weeks.
Weeks. What's been the best? Have you, obviously going to say, have you seen, what's been the best feedback you've gotten from someone? Other than, you know, my ass looks better than it did 6 weeks ago. What has been like the best feedback where they're like, you know what, it's a difference. People are noticing. What's been like the funniest thing that someone said to you?
The funniest thing someone said to me was definitely, oh my God, I haven't felt my ass pump like this in a very long time. Like, to the point where they were like, oh my God, I can't sit on the toilet type of thing.
Oh,
So.
okay. Okay. So you now, since you have that going on, what's your 3 to 5 year plan? So you wanna compete, you got your pro card, what would you like to one day win the Olympia? You like to have a business? What's like? What would you if every you can do everything ideally? What would you
All
like?
of the above. All of the above. Like I want it all. Like why? Because I work really hard and I deserve it. Like I do want to be Miss Olympia, of course. Like how awesome would it be to be like the first Black Miss Olympia? Of course, it's a 50-50 for me. You know what I mean? But I'm looking at 100%. So yes, I want to be Miss Olympia. Also, yeah, I want to have my own business within the next 5 years. Um,
What kind of business specifically? An online business? Like just I know obviously it's fitness, but what is it more like?
oh, I want it to be fitness and online, and then I want to travel and and do like my own programs. I want to teach other people what I know, and if that has to deal with like traveling a lot, that's totally fine. But yeah, that, and of course, I want to have a child, um, and obviously be married. You and I want to have the married thing and the baby, whatever thing,
Got a question here. If you could answer them a question, I'm gonna read it to you. I have a question. If someone is quad dominant, what should be the appropriate approach altogether? Don't train them and focus on glutes or hams, or should it like be like do all?
One, you never want to stop training a muscle group. You never want to stop training a muscle group. Why? Because you're going to make that muscle group weak if you stop training it. You always want to train it. I would do more of a resistance type training with my quads. I wouldn't push heavy at all. I would just do like a blood flow type of thing just to keep the muscle there, preserve it. As far as um, triggering your glutes more than your hamstrings, that has to do with how your foot placing is. That has to do with your hips. You could be sitting on one side than the other and not focus on just pushing from those glutes. Also, you might want to warm up before you even do your glutes. That way, you're actually able to feel the difference in your glutes and for your hamstrings. So,
So real quick, what would be a warm up? Because I know we're fitness, and I know about fitness, and there's probably a lot of fitness, but some people might be on here and they're just like they're gonna follow you, like, okay, I have no idea what she's talking about. So it's like, what is
warm up.
warming?
Warm up consists of there's a bunch. There's so many. Okay, so let's say
That
you're the
they asked, like that's the problem they have. What would you recommend as like a warm up if they are having problems activating the glutes? I think
okay.
that's a
So
lot.
there's three ways that you can do it. Uh, you can do the elliptical or the stairs for about 7 minutes before you train your legs. Right? You can do that. Or the second thing you can do is you can do a serious deep stretch within your hip flexor and your hamstrings. You can do that for at least 5 to 7 minutes as well before you train. And you can also foam roll to get into, um, activation. The last thing you can do is you can do a couple of exercises that has no weight, or you can do your first warm-up set with the lightest weight as possible with a higher repetition and feel if that glute is triggering or not. Feel if that muscle group is firing up, meaning like it's burning and it's starting to be like, oh my God, like I can't do any more. Warm-up set. So
I think that's good. I think almost every female wants to know how to get their glutes better activated. So I think this is useful information to people who are watching this or who watch it back. Um, I'm gonna ask, might be stupid considering how much we've talked about. What's your favorite muscle group to train? Dude, but you never know. She might say back. I don't know. I have to ask.
ooh, I'm in the between top three. Shoulders, I love it. Back and glutes. Those are my things.
Shoulders, back, and glutes. Yeah, I'm like my back is probably my favorite. Back. I'm shoulder dominant though. That's been my issue. So I can't like go heavy on shoulders. If not, my chest looks really small. So that's one thing I've learned early on. Just kind of have to balance it out.
What? Wait, what? Your shoulders are.
I'm shoulder dominant, so if I like overwork or do like heavy presses, they'll get too big, and then it'll actually make my chest look smaller. So like I like raises, I don't do everything too heavy because if not, they really grow faster than the rest of my muscle groups.
Huh?
Good and bad. It's good and bad because it also makes me look even smaller in my waist, so it's actually not a bad thing. Have some
Do
new.
you fire up your chest before you train?
I'm not chest dominant. Like people look, I'm not like a heavy bench or anything like that. That's people would think I'm like some. People look at me like, oh, you bench. I'm like, I really don't, because my chest isn't that strong. I'm just all shoulders, really.
Huh.
Yeah, and the gram makes it look so much better. I'm like, it makes it, it makes it look so much better. Like it's not what it looks like in person.
Yeah, I did get some questions like, "Is that your man?" Because I sent come watch the live video and I shared your profile, and then like, "Oh, is that your man?" I'm like, "No, bro. I specifically said watch the live video."
Yeah, it's just an interview. There are some.
because
There's,
because your profile, when you send it, you have like half naked photos, like your chest or whatever,
I mean, there was
and
workout photos. That I try to balance it out. They're workouts.
I mean, it's great. I mean, I can't say shit because look at my profile, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like, that's what happens when you share someone else's profile. It's like, you know,
yeah, yeah. There's a couple people who just joined on. I know we're kind of. I'm not gonna keep asking this. Best advice for a girl, I mean, or a guy. I don't want to X anyone out that wants to grow their glutes. Best advice.
best advice.
Kind of talked about ass for like the last 30 minutes, but we've had some more people come in, so I just want to go just what best top three tips for a girl, top three tips for a girl who wants to build their ass.
Activate, recovery, and always have a day where you are not pushing so heavy. So be a um, higher repetition, higher sets.
So activate.
Activate, recover,
Okay.
and you're training one of your days, make sure it's not so heavy.
Okay. So if we go through it, what's again? I know, but What do you mean by activate? Are you saying like squeeze the muscle or warm it up? Like what do you? I know it's kind of like questions we know the answer to, but I think some people, especially with watching.
Activate, like you basically want to feel before you want to make sure that your form is everything. Like when you're training legs, like if you don't feel it, it's because either you're pushing from your feet from the wrong way, or your knees are rolling in, or that's where people start messing up, or your chest is too far down and now you're getting your low back, you're not even getting your glutes. So it's all about mentally being aware, mind muscle connection. Seriously, that.
I've learned. I've been training for the last 15 years or so from because I played sports. That mind muscle thing is it's a real thing.
It's real.
I literally can tell myself like I've always grew up like younger. I just did heavy weight. That's all I knew. I can literally have a great workout with like 10 pounds if I really wanted to. It's because I
Right.
know how to activate. I have that muscle mind, that muscle mind connect. That I have that. But some people, it just That's why a lot of people use the bands and stuff like that, like the booty bands and stuff like that, because they can't just that just helps them activate that. That's one thing I've noticed. But it is a real thing. People say no. I'm like, it's a real thing. I can use 10-pound weights and I can get my glutes on fire if I wanted to because I can.
Right.
And it's something I think you learn as over the years. You know your body and stuff like that. There's another question that came up. Should bikini girls be training chest? As I see I see not a lot are doing it at all. So first question, do you train chest? And two, should bikini girls do chest? You would know, you're a pro. So I mean, do you do it yourself, and do you recommend others?
Absolutely. You train every muscle group. Why? Because that's how your shape is going to be symmetrical. You're going to be symmetrical for your body type. So by you not training something, that's lacking in your symmetry. So I do chest flies, I do chest press. Of course, I don't get like crazy with it. Like I'm a girl, I don't need like man chest or whatever. Plus, you know how hard it is. You know how hard it is to get a man chest. So like you're not gonna get bulky unless you really are like on some subs and you're just like straight pulling You
Yeah.
know, like you'll get a chest, but always train every muscle group. You always want to train every muscle group. Even if someone says you're more dominant in that area and you're bigger, you know, don't train it. You need to condition it. You still need to do something with it. You can't just let that muscle go to waste, you
Absolutely.
know?
Uh, one more question. We're answering all your questions, but we can't answer. Wait. Okay, hold on. Also,
I like this.
no,
This is cool.
it is. Sorry, it is always said silicone boobs are necessary for bikini that to be on top, especially in India. I don't know if you could answer about India, but you can tell. Do you feel like it's necessary?
Honestly, no. I feel like anywhere in the world, no matter what country, wherever, if you are symmetrical and you show that confidence of your body on stage, who's going to deny you? Who's going to deny you? And if you feel that way, girl, you ready to get some padding, stuff it. I'm like, I'm all natural, so I don't, like, I don't care. That's not what makes me, like, my performance and what I worked on my physique makes me. So I hope that answers her question.
Yeah, I think it did. Mira Mari, your girl, said, "Oh, question. I've heard so many different answers on the chest, on topic of chest. If I have implants, is there any chest exercises I need to avoid?" I know you're all natural, but maybe you can answer that. I feel
Yes, because I've
okay.
trained girls who got boob jobs. So um, if you're clear to train your boobs after you had a boob job, go for it. I wouldn't do so much of a full range of motion of chest flies right away because you can obviously pull. You want to like do more of like a lower cable chest flies. Um, Anything with the press, you want to make sure that you are instead of pressing from like this, like a natural way that everyone does, you want to press like this here. Um, yeah, I mean, I would still train my chest with if I had boobs. So
Okay. Here's a question that a lot of people have as well. Are you single?
yes,
You are single.
I am single.
Is it kind of? I mean, is it by choice or is it just? And I say it in this way. Let me preface this with: is it because you just have so many things on your plate? Like you said, you want to be able to travel, you want to do all these business things. Are you kind of like just kind of putting yourself first and like I want to focus on that before I have to kind of invest in somebody else? Or is it just like you know what, guys suck or what?
Um, so here's the thing. Yes, I am busy, but I'm not that busy. I'm not that busy enough to not make time for a relationship. What happens is when you bring two people into each other's world and into my world, which is, fitness and busy, um, you got to make small sacrifices to, balance and all that. I'm willing to, but sometimes the other person isn't. So, and they're not understanding of how I work and on my routine. Like, I know that being in prep, it's kind of challenging for me to be with somebody because they don't understand what I'm going through unless they're a competitor. And sometimes they don't even, it's probably even worse because you both are competing and you both are mentally there. But it could work if you both have great communication skills. You both are considerate because that's one of the main things that this world lacks is consideration for another person. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm single by choice right now. There's some potential out there, but
Good.
I'm I'm like poking and like, ugh, poking. I don't know. Like, I'm picky.
She said, "I didn't see anyone ask if she was single on here." We discussed the questions before we got on live. It wasn't random, okay? So it wasn't a random question. It was something one of the lines that we discussed.
She's
uh,
funny.
I,
She said.
I do have questions.
It's okay. She won't go for your head. You're all right.
Okay, I'm good. I'm glad then. No, okay. So other than that, Zulu Warrior. Okay. So for the girls, I know there's obviously going to be a lot of people watching live and after the fact. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out, brand new, who's fresh, and they're like, they go on your page and like, I want to do what she does. I want to be an IFB because a lot of people. I live in Tampa, Florida, and everybody they want their pro card. They want to be an IFBB. What would be the best advice you give to as someone who's aspiring to do that? Or who's someone who did a show and it was like they it almost felt disheartened about it. They're like, you know what, that maybe I can't do that. What would be your best advice?
Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. It takes time. It's all time. If you're not patient and you're not humble enough for this sport, you do not deserve to be doing it because you're just mentally breaking yourself down. Like, enjoy every single second. I wish I enjoyed my road to national league, like trying to go pro. I enjoyed more of my amateur NPC shows, you know. And then as soon as I wanted to go pro, oh my God, like I was like stressed and da da da. And like I wasn't really enjoying much of it anymore. I was just like, I'm just showing up, like, you know? And it flashbacks so fast and you're just like, dang. And now when you become a pro, you're like, I need to give back. Well, for me, this is how I think. I need to get back to how I was so, like, in the very beginning, how I was just so happy about doing this and just, like, enjoying every process and every step, knowing that my body's going to change regardless if I keep putting the work in it, you know, like, and not stressing so much. Like, you'll get there. Like, you will get there. It's not like you won't. If you give up and you completely quit, of course you will get there. But if you keep going, you're going to get there. It is all manifested in your head. Like, you see it, you know you want the pro card, you will get it. You just have to wait.
Absolutely. I have another question here from Alicia S. Segbeck. I don't know if you know her. What would your advice be for someone looking for a prep coach? Suggestions, good traits, or bad traits? What would be your best advice?
Uh, okay, so I would say do research first. Research. So, if you're looking for a coach, research. Don't look at one coach. Look at many. You know, then look at the character behind the coach, what they're saying about their athletes, what they're saying about themselves, how how social they are. You know, like if this person's if this person is open enough for me to actually talk to them about my prep without being like, rah, just eat your food, do your shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you gotta have, because there's coaches like that. They'll just be like, look, get the shit done, move on, you know? And you're just like, I was just gonna ask, when do I check in? You know, like, so I mean, you have to figure out what fits you the best. If you are a pay attention to detail, you like, you know, a check-in here and there, you know, you gotta look.
Okay, so we got about 8 minutes before
they kick us off.
Yeah, it limits you to an hour, then it kicks you off. So at least I know better this time around. So we will answer any more questions. Anyone else has any more questions? I have another question for you until then. What is during prep, what is your favorite food? Your favorite thing to eat during prep? Well, that's one question. And second, once you got your pro card, what was the first thing you ate?
Oh God, what did I not eat when I got my pro card? I got my pro card in Vegas, so I went to Sugar Factory. I went there, so I had whatever they had, mac and cheese and all that. But yeah, I literally don't remember that because I ate and drank a lot post show. So I got my pro card, so it's what you're supposed to do. It's what you're supposed to do. For prep, I love sweet potatoes. Like, I am a sweet potato freak. Like, if I have sweet potatoes on my plan, I am golden. Like, I have to have sweet potatoes. So.
Nice. Next thing. Let's see. Once how long, you said your prep is typically, what, 5 weeks? You do like a 5 week prep typically? Because you kind of stay in shape year round, or do you do usually 5 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks?
So I used to do like 14-week preps when I was with the coach that that I shouldn't have been with.
Ask you, because you were mentioning like you have some of those coaches who are a little bit of like, do this or do this. Have you ever had a coach like that?
Yeah, and it was harder because he was my boyfriend at the time as
Uh,
well. So
okay,
it
so
was like 10 times more pressure than anything. Um, but you know, you like Alicia asked, you search. Like I researched around. I looked at a lot of teams, and I'm not going to call them out because I didn't pick them to work with them. But and I chose Ryan because he just showed that he actually gave a fuck if I was on his team, and he actually cared of my mental mind state of where I was and where I wanted to go. So I picked him. Um, as far as it goes for like for prep, like I didn't like doing cardio. Like I know you have to, but like 2 hours a day, that's fucking insane. Like no one should be doing that much unless you're walking around,
yeah,
you know. So,
not a cardio.
you know, but yeah.
So before we get kicked off, I want to decide. I want you to plug all your stuff, all your social media, and booty plan. So if someone wants to find you, because remember this is on Instagram, but it's gonna be on YouTube. So I want you to plug all your stuff. If somebody wants to find you on Instagram, whatever you got, give me all your social media, whatever you got. How do they find you?
Okay, if they want to find me on, how do you, hold on, get out of this. Okay. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's IFBB underscore Jazzy underscore fit. If you want to find me on Facebook, it's Jasmine Lovely Brittany. Yeah, all one word, except for, yeah, Lovely Brittany. If you want to work with me, you can go in the link in my Instagram. It has all my programs that I offer. Once you click the link, you can schedule when you want to get your program, when you want to pose with me. I also do posing, meal planning, lifestyle coaching, anything that you look for goal-oriented wise, I provide the best I can to help you get there. So
Definitely. And ladies, if you want to work on your booty, on your glutes, this is the woman to go to. Obviously, the results speak for the. He has great compete.
I'll,
Yeah.
I'm posting. I'm this week. Yeah, I'm posting a bunch of progress photos
Really?
this week.
Okay.
Yep.
So testimonials. That's all you can.
Testimonials.
That's the best thing you do. It literally tells me I got 45 seconds left. So I just want to say thank you so much for getting on live with me, doing this interview with me. I will repost this on my page, and then once I get it all downloaded, I'll post it on YouTube as well. When we do get off, if you could DM me all your plugs, so I can just copy and paste it once I post it up on YouTube, so I can just take it from there. Okay.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much for getting on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I hope you had fun. It was good, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
We said
Awesome.
half hour. Look at that. We hit an hour.
We did good.
Yeah, you did great. You did great. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.